Stick around to the end, because the photos I took of these two are so awesome. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? I've been working on the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 wave since a few weeks ago, starting with the Guardians. And last week I worked on Adam Warlock. Today, I'll do the last two from this wave, Kraglin and the Build-A-Figure Cosmo. I have to admit, I didn't think I needed a Kraglin figure, since I don't have Yondu either. But this wave looks promising, and these are characters I don't have in my collection, so I decided to get the entire wave. There's something about this figure that's really unique. The entire sculpt has a very natural looking feel to it. Cosmo, on the other hand, it's a bit disappointing. The overall colors are quite inaccurate. As a result, this figure ends up looking a bit cheap. Let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. The thing that I like the most about Kraglin is that he doesn't have that typical superhero physique. His body resembles more of a person who doesn't work out regularly. And just like all the other figures from this wave, they did a really good job on the face. It is missing some of his facial hair though. The only issue I see is that the suit looks flat and dull, but I can fix that. I really enjoy the arrow. I love how dynamic it looks. They totally captured the erratic movements of the arrow. Cosmo has this basic look to her. She looks like any other dog figure out there, except she's in an astronaut suit. It also doesn't help that the suit isn't screen accurate either. In the movie, her suit was pretty much all white. But the worst of all is that the colors they use on the fur is nowhere near the actual colors, making Cosmo look nothing like her movie self. But I still want to give it a try. Good dog deserves a second chance, and Kraglin just need a bit of touch up. So, can I make it? Starting with Kraglin, I'm gonna sand the surface lightly, even though the material isn't that slippery. But this should help make the paint stick onto the plastic better. I'm first gonna go over the entire suit with the red. The red they used on the plastic isn't too bad, but it's not the right shade of red. It's a bit too warm toned. Kraglin's suit has more of a purple leaning red. The red I'm using is a bit more vibrant than the red on the plastic, but it is still too warm toned. So I'm gonna cool it down with the purple. I'm gonna use the purple to emphasize certain areas on the suit, mainly the upper torso area with the diagonal stripes, the sides with the horizontal stripes, and the back with the vertical stripes, to give the suit more variety in tones. I'm also going to use this as a shading color to add more depth, focusing on the areas with the folds. Alright, this is what it looks like so far. I may have to add a bit more purple, but let me add a coat of glossy varnish first, to give the suit that leathery shine. I want the areas with the stripes to be a bit glossier, so I'll add a bit more varnish on those areas, and I'll still do a thin coat on the rest of the suit. Here's what the suit looks like with the varnish. I went in and mattified the smooth areas a bit with the red again so the suit doesn't look too glossy. Now onto the missing details. Starting with the stripe at the bottom here. I believe this is black in the movie. This will also create a clear divide between the upper and lower section of the suit. There are also some missing strap details on this left arm, so let's paint them back in. There are minimal Kraglin references out there, so I'm going to do what I think looks best for the figure. I want to emphasize the texture on the suit a bit more, so I'm going to wet my brush and go over the lines with the black as well. You can probably just skip the purple and go with the black to begin with, but I personally like to avoid using black and this is absolutely necessary. The purple I added is a bit more subtle. There are a lot of interesting details on the suit, so I want to emphasize them with the black. Oh, there's another strap here. Black is a pretty harsh color, so I'm going to keep my brush damp so when it dries, it doesn't dry too opaque. All the Guardians characters have similar pants design. They all have this trapezoid shaped thing on their thighs, so let's make sure they are visible. And just a few more strokes on the back. Alright, this is what the suit looks like now. It looks so much more sophisticated. On to the silver details. Most of the metallic details on the figure has this dark silver color to them, so I'm going to mix myself a similar gunmetal color and add those missing buckles back in. There's also an indent of a Ravager's patch on his left shoulder. Let me darken that area a bit to make it stand out more. And let me clean up the zipper as well. Oh, there are 3 buttons on his right wrist. Let's paint them in. And there are also these egg-shaped thingies on his upper legs. Not sure what they are, but they look like they should be silver. And finally, just a few more buckles and details on his boots. On to his shoulder strap. I'm not a fan of the brown they used. It doesn't look like leather to me. It looks a bit too rubbery, so I'm gonna go over it with a different brown. And then a bit of shading with an even darker brown, so it doesn't look like it's brand new. Just some weathering here and there. Okay, next. I'm gonna paint the strap in the middle black. They did it for the strap on the other side, but they skipped this side. Gotta save some paint somewhere, I guess. And just some final silver touches on the buttons and buckles on the strap. Alright, I think this is good enough. On to the face. The price of Marvel Legends have been increasing, and there seems to be less accessories for each figure now. But I do see an improvement on the faces, especially in this wave. Maybe except for the non-humanoid characters. This Kraglin head is pretty good, except Kraglin is a bit older looking in the movie now. So first, let me do a quick base layer on the face. Then I'm going to slowly add his facial hair back in. Kraglin kinda has a white beard, but it's not going to show if I only add white strokes to his jaw. So I'm going to build up the beard, starting with the brown. In the reference images, I can see that there are various shades to his facial hair. Normally, I recommend working from light to dark, but because his beard is predominantly white, I need to do the white strokes last so they end up on the top layer. I've never really done a grey or white beard before, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to build up gradually and try to make sure the strokes don't blend into each other too much. Alright, I'm done. That took a while, and I'm going to stop here. I think it could use a few more layers, but I'm satisfied. Let me quickly do the brows too so they match the beard. As for his fin, I really like the plastic they used, but Kraglin's fin is much darker in the movie, so I'm going to darken it with a dark brown, focusing more on the bottom part of his mohawk, and fading it upwards. Here's the fin all painted, but it doesn't have the right finish, so let me add a thin coat of matte varnish to kinda give it that plastic shine again. Alright, here's the head all finished. I love how this turned out. The facial hair looks so detailed, and he looks significantly more mature now too. The fin also turned out really good. It looks much more solid now. Before I put the head back on, let me work on Cosmo first. Where should I begin? Okay, I'm gonna start with the suit. I'm not gonna make the entire suit white, because I think that'll just make it look even cheaper. Instead, I'm gonna brush a small amount of white onto the high points of the suit to kinda neutralize the yellow tint a bit, and also give it that chalky feel. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like fabric on spacesuits are always rough and chalky, at least to me, but I do appreciate that they didn't use the pure white on the suit. The off-white is pretty neat. Okay, on to the fur. The fur looks too orange. Let me try and tone it down with this tan color. To be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just following my gut feelings. Right now I just want to get rid of the orangeness. Cosmo definitely looks less vibrant now, but that's still nowhere close to her actual fur color. So let me add a bit of brown next, especially around her snoot. I really think they based this figure on Cosmo's previous appearance. That's why they gave her this orange fur and a lighter snoot. Oh, they misprinted the mouth a bit on this side. Let me see if I can patch it up. I need the overall fur to be more of a darker brown now, so let's add a bit of that too. Ah, the tail's looking pretty good. Let's do the face too. I know what you're thinking. Same. What am I doing wrong? Do I need to brighten fur? Is this gonna help? I don't think this is helping. Okay, I'm gonna keep working on it off screen. Be back in a bit. Alright, this is what I got so far. I think it is better, but Cosmo looks like an old dog now. Maybe it's the mouth. Let me fix the mouth here by giving her dark lips. Okay, those eyes are bothering me so much. Let me darken them too. Oh, that helped tremendously. She looks so much more cheerful and youthful now. Oh, okay, this may work after all. Let me try something different. I want to see if I can give the fur this yellowish shine. So I mix some matte medium into this pale yellow color. Please work, please work, please work. Oh no, this doesn't look right. Maybe it'll look less distracting once it's dried. While it's drying, I'm going to dab 2 dots of glossy varnish onto her eyes to give those eyes more life. Alright, I'm going to let it dry. Here's what Cosmo looks like now. Ooh, okay, it's not a complete disaster. The fur color's still a bit off. The head doesn't exactly match the tail either, but I need to stop before I ruin it. Let me work on the rest of the spacesuit now. I decided to keep all the brown and silver bits on the suit, even though this is not how Cosmo looked in Volume 3. The silver neck piece looks very plasticky, so let me brush a thin coat of silver over it to add some shine. And I'm going to use the new metallic red paint again on the top half of the neck piece. I still don't know how I feel about this paint. It is metallic, but it's also very sheer, and it's a bit on the pink side, but it should do the job here. I'm not going to add the translator modules on the neck piece. I don't think I can do clean strokes on those areas, but I can add paint over the other red areas, and a quick black wash on the silver here to bring out the details, and a bit more silver details, especially on the collar. And finally, just a bit of black right here to add some separation. Yay, okay, I'm done. Here's Kraglin all finished. Oh wow, look how much richer the red looks now. I don't dislike the original red, but it's just not the Ravager's red. I also love how the details pop now, but not in a jarring way. Let's take a closer look. Ah, the painted head is so good. From the darker fin to the facial hair. The suit looks significantly better. You can almost feel the texture. And here's Cosmo. It's like a completely different dog now. I don't think I nailed the brown, but I think I captured Cosmo's essence. Someone's a good dog. Yes, you are. What do you think? Do you like what I've done to Kraglin and Cosmo? Let me know down below. You know what's interesting? I started this video not loving these figures that much, since they are kinda side characters. But I think Kraglin is now my favorite figure from this wave. I like this even more than Star-Lord or Mantis. I really like that Kraglin doesn't have that idealistic body type, but he still ends up looking very natural and good. In fact, I think he doesn't have that action figure-y look to him at all. He can pose very naturally and doesn't look stiff like other figures. And that face. Is this my best facial hair paint job? Maybe. It is definitely up there. As for Cosmo, it may not look exactly like Cosmo, but at least it looks more like a real dog now. The elbow and knee joints on mine are super stiff, so I wasn't able to bend them, so excuse my minimal poses. But look at that good dog. Oh my god, can she be any cuter? Why is she so cute? I really didn't expect to like this at all, but they actually did a good job with the figure. Minus the paint, of course. I was able to do all these cute poses without bending the knees and elbows. I can only imagine all the fun poses for those who can. Alright, let's end this for the photo shoot. I have to start with Cosmo. At a glance, it is just another dog figure, but Cosmo can actually pull off these very believable dog poses. Oh my god, my heart. Why is this sitting pose so adorable? And not just that, as a dog owner, I recognize some of these body languages too. Like, I can tell what kind of emotion Cosmo is expressing. The darker and varnished eyes definitely help give life to the figure. Now her eyes just sparkle under the light. Look how proud she is here. I just want to pet her. Oh, and what shocked me the most is that she can pull off action poses extremely well. These photos look like I caught her mid-running. Aww. Okay, on to Kraglin. He looks exactly like Sean Gunn to me. Like a perfect 3D scan of him or something. Maybe it's the more natural proportions? His poses look relaxed and believable. Something not all figures can do. I didn't paint the arrow. I kinda forgot. I got distracted by his facial hair and Cosmo. I do wish the trail was red, but having it orange does make it stand out against the suit. So maybe it's a good thing that it's orange? The same goes for the actual arrow too. In the movie it's much darker. If I paint it darker, it may not pop the way it does here. I had a lot of fun finding ways to pose the arrow. What do you think? Should I have painted the arrow too? Or do you think it looks better with these colors? This is just an awesome figure overall. I can't express how much I ended up loving this Kraglin figure, even though Kraglin isn't a character I like that much. But that may change now due to this figure. There's almost no bad angles for him. I don't really have to pose him a certain way to hide the joints. I'm honestly very impressed. Oh, another reason why I like this figure a lot is because he stands out against the rest of the wave. Look at how good he looks with his fellow guardians. And here are all the Ravagers I have in my collection. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a like and subscribe for more Marvel Legends content like this. Cause I have Groot now, so that'll be next. As always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.